this is Josh from BrandsWalk, back at it again with another video. Today I'm here in Naoshima Island, on the coast of southern Japan between Kyoto and Hiroshima. Being a lover of all things Japanese art and architecture, this place has been on my bucket list for years. Naoshima Island was once home to fishermen during its heyday. However, the island was faced with depopulation among other prominent issues. So in 1985, a businessman by the name of Tetsuhiko Fukutake and his son Soichiro sought out to revitalize the island in collaboration with the mayor, transforming the once depressive state of the island to a cultural and art hub frequented by travelers around the world today. In 1989, the Benesse art site was established and collaborated directly with famed architect Tadao Ando to grow and build museums around the island. With traction steadily growing, in 1994, Yayoi Kusama presented her first work on the island, the Yellow Pumpkin. Now, in terms of getting here, I took the Shinkansen from Tokyo Station to Okayama Station, which took a little over 3 hours. From Okayama Station, I took an hour local train to Uno Port, where my accommodation was located during my trip. So all in all, it's about 4 hours getting here from Tokyo Station. Getting to the island itself is pretty straightforward. You just have to take the 20-minute ferry from Uno Ferry Port, and there's a boat that transits every hour to Naoshima, with the first ferry at 6:10 a.m. and the last ferry at 8:25 p.m. I would greatly advise that you rent a bike on the island or through your hotel accommodation. Getting to all the museums is kind of tricky by car unless you rent or have your own tour bus, and I found that the most enjoyable way to enjoy the scenic landscapes is through biking, so please do keep that in mind. So right now we just got to the port at Naoshima Island. So today we're just gonna go check out some coffee shops, art museums, and I'll be bringing along the Fjallraven Abisko 16 backpack with me throughout the day, just to show you guys what it's like to bring around this backpack on kind of like these smaller day trip scenarios. Backpack is super lightweight, small, compact, and it fits pretty much all the essentials I need. Yeah, so we're gonna just be biking around the whole island and kind of, checking it out. So let's get started. Okay, so the pumpkin right behind me is by renowned Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama, and this is one of 2 pumpkins featured on Naoshima Island. The most famous one is of course the yellow pumpkin, and it's right here on the port of Naoshima. It was opened in 1994 as part of the open air out of bounds exhibition. All of Kusama's pumpkins are there to symbolize solace and comfort in response to all the hardships she faced throughout her life. And yeah, so this is really cool to see here in Naoshima as kind of like a welcoming first impression of the island. So yeah, let's go to the next spot. The first place I want to stop by on the island is called Hifumiyo Coffee. I was recommended this spot as it's one of the first few coffee roaster spots here in Naoshima. I ordered an iced flat white, which was extremely smooth tasting and perfect for today's 90-degree weather. The barista kindly explained to me that the beans were all locally sourced and ground here in the shop every morning. So if you find yourself in Naoshima and love a good cup of coffee, I would definitely recommend giving this place a try. Alright, so right now we're at our first museum location here in Naoshima, and this one is called the Benesse House Museum. And this museum was designed by famed Japanese architect Tadao Ando. And basically the whole purpose of this by Ando was that he wanted to combine nature, art, architecture, all in one harmonious structure. This is probably one of the more beautiful art museums I've been to in my lifetime. There's these beautiful mountains in the background, this oceanscape. So yeah, let's go and check it out. The Benesse House Museum was built in 1992 and is known for its striking visual architecture that overlooks the Japanese Seto Inland Sea. Ando's vision, like most of his works here on the island, is to harmonize the surrounding naturescapes with the simplistic forms of his concrete structures. So the way the museum is laid out gives visitors really the optimal vantage point for the seascape because of the use of long linear glass windows. So first impressions of the Benesse House Art Museum is that it's pretty beautiful. Everything has that signature Tada Ando design to it. Right now I'm in this outdoor patio area. I'm trying to talk low right now because I don't want to disturb the guests and the staff here. So for lunch, I enjoyed the traditional Japanese beef bento set found in the museum's main restaurant. All in all, the Benesse House Museum was a pretty solid visit. I enjoyed all of the artworks displayed, and it was just a very relaxing atmosphere. And also being one of the main museums here on the island, I would definitely recommend you book your tickets in advance. Okay, so we just finished with the Benesse House Museum, and now we're gonna go check out the next one, which is called... Okay, so we finally made it to the new museum here in Naoshima. Super hot outside. Let's go indoors. Okay, so the new museum just opened this spring of 2025 and is also designed by architect Tada Ando. This is actually his 10th project on Naoshima Island. And right now I'm sitting at the museum cafe at the entrance, and it's just extremely beautiful. It's right by the water. You could see how his architecture really perfectly nests inside nature with his iconic concrete angular structures. So the concept behind this museum is that there's always going to be new and fresh artworks from a variety of artists in Japan, rather than having kind of these legacy works. Yeah, so I'm excited to check this museum out. I didn't even know that it just opened. It just kind of popped up when I was booking tickets online. So yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. Apart from the familiar and bold architecture from Tadao Ando, the new museum's artworks were all very visually compelling and felt refreshingly new for me. The exhibited works today were all from emerging and legacy Asian artists from Japan, Korea, Thailand, China, and Indonesia, to name a few. My favorite work personally was from Korean artist Do Ho-sa, and his work is titled Hubs, where he took the architectural proportions of a traditional Japanese house corridor and reconstructed it with this translucent fabric, which really gave a new and fresh perspective on architectural spaces. So right now we stopped by this cafe called Konnichiwa Cafe during my bike ride, and I kind of stumbled upon this without any Google search or yeah, it was just on my bike route. They serve small dishes like curry, coffee, just juice and things like that. So. For the last stop of the day, I'd head over to Kusama's obligatory yellow pumpkin. So now we just made it to Yayoi Kusama's second pumpkin here in Naoshima. This is a piece of art that I've always wanted to come and see in person. I feel like this one is kind of one of the most renowned spots to see her work. This island is already so beautiful, so this kind of scenery gives it another feeling or mood to her work. Yeah, so. There were no people, surprisingly, except a Japanese family who kindly asked me to take a picture for them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Honestly, it felt surreal to be in that moment, facing the beautiful blue Seto Sea and the complementary yellow hue of Kusama's pumpkin. And looking back on the day here in Naoshima, it made me realize that creativity and art really brings people together from around the world. I think it was amazing to see all of this collaborative artwork displayed here in the museums, through the architecture, sculptures, and through the paintings. And all of these museums were so easy to access with just a bike and my Fjallraven Abisko 16 backpack. So if you're like me and just appreciate art and the beauty of nature, then I don't think there's a better place than Naoshima. I hope you enjoyed this day in the life format video of me here in Naoshima. If you enjoy this type of content, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. This is Josh from BrandsWalk signing out. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.